Hey there to my 36 subscribers, my future subscribers, and all the people that secretly watch me without subscribing. Today I'm doing a story time about a time frame where we were out exploring in the woods. It was actually two different sets of times, but kind of ran into each other in a, well, sort of, not really. I don't know. It all happened within 7 months, but the first time was in October and November of 2016. And my cousin and three of her kids came to visit, along with a couple of dogs. And she had plans that she'd been having dreams about a place that she wanted to go find it. And so sometimes my daughter Kendra would go with us, sometimes my son Skylar would go with us, sometimes they both went. But we were out in search of a place that was in our dreams. And some days we like she would just tell me, I'd tell her, just tell me what direction to go, and we'll go and see what we can find. And sometimes we even got on Google Maps to see if we could figure out the places, but that never really worked out. I wish I had more photos, but I was so busy driving and looking that I didn't think to take a lot of photos, and we didn't do any videos at all, which is really sad. The number of hours we spent out there, it would have been nice to have videos, because I think people would have really enjoyed watching them. But anyway, so we went out, and I'll share a couple of pictures that I have. Some of the areas, everything all looked the same. We took a couple of pictures. Well, actually, we took a lot of pictures, but the person with the camera was not holding it very still, and they were very blurry, so I'm only going to share a few. But some of the areas, it was like everything looked the same. We could drive for hours, and there wasn't a whole lot of change in the scenery. And then sometimes, especially towards the end of the day, we'd see some beautiful views, sunsets and stuff like that. At one point, I'm not going to say what direction we headed, because I don't want people to go looking for it, but we found an abandoned campground that didn't appear to have had anybody there in a really long time. Didn't see anybody. It's not marked on the road. There's no signs saying that it's there. We found it just purely by accident, because we seen a dirt road and took it. And then there was another direction we had gone, and I mean, I do have issues where I don't feel fear, and so I kind of do things that I probably shouldn't. But there was this one area that was pretty rocky and stuff, but the ground was kind of opened up in the middle of the road. I don't know if it was like an earthquake happened or what. But instead of turning around and going back, we put rocks in the gap and drove over it, and kept going. And we were doing that pretty much every day for, I don't even know how long, but quite a bit through October and November of that year. There was one time, one of the trips that we went on, there were trees laying across the road, and one of the trees we ran across was kind of a pain to move, but we managed to move it. And it kind of fell on us. There was three of us there. We didn't have tools. We probably should have had tools with us, but we didn't think to take tools with us. But we were trying to move it, and then I had this, because like the base of it was still attached to the stump, but it had fallen and across the road, and we had to move it out of the way because I didn't want to go back. I wanted to keep going. And so we were trying to move it out of the road by breaking it off the stump, and it wasn't working. So I had this bright idea that I would move to the very top of the tree for more leverage, and it was a little more leverage than we anticipated. It moved quickly, and we all fell, and it fell on top of all of us. So we all kind of got hurt, but we were all laughing, so whatever. And another one was, I don't know, the stump or the log was probably that big around. And again, it was across the road, and there was no way we could move it at all by hand with it still attached at the base. So we went and gotten the van and found, I know I said we didn't have any tools. We didn't have proper tools. We went and found a couple of things to kind of dig at the rotting part of the tree, and even hooked up a tow rope to the tree and broke the tow rope. But we did eventually get it moved and kept going. So that was a long day. We were all exhausted that day. Another trip that we went on, my cousin, I don't know why, she insisted we could not take my GPS with us. I was not really happy about that, because I was like, if nothing else, we could see where we've been in case we find something interesting. We want to go back to it again later. And she was very adamant. She didn't want it going with us, so we didn't take it. And we were driving along, and I was more watching the road directly in front of us, watching for, rocks and things, stuff that would damage the tires. And she was directing me which way to turn. And I should have been paying more attention, but at one point I stopped and I looked around and I was like, where's the road? She had directed me out in the middle of nothing. I mean, I shouldn't say nothing. It was trees and rocks and shrubs and no roads. And her son got out and helped me look to see what direction to go to try and find a road. But before that, her and I got into a bit of an argument, and I was like, upset because there's no cell phone signal. My kids didn't know where we were, and we didn't have food, water, blankets, nothing, extra clothes, Dumb, I know, but we weren't thinking when we left. We were just out for a drive. So at one point in the argument, she'd said that maybe that was God's way of telling us that's where we needed to be. And I got mad and I said, maybe that's God's way of telling us that we're stupid. But we obviously made it out. It was just the one time that we really butted heads. And the last trip that we had gone on, we went and found an area that we really liked, and we were going to go back to it the next day, but the weather changed, and I did actually take a couple of pictures of the area, but they didn't turn out because it was getting dark, and I have no idea where it is because we didn't write it down. We have, I don't know where it was, but maybe someday we'll find it again. I don't know. But anyway, Fast forward several months, and it was spring 2017, and my ex's stepson and his girlfriend showed up. And in these trips, sometimes Kendra went, sometimes Skylar went, sometimes my mom went. We had a friend that I was kind of keeping an eye on for a while, and she went with us a couple of times. Sometimes we took dogs, took cat, just whatever we were in the mood to do. But anyway, that whole thing started when my ex's stepson dared me to scare him. And I don't know, it triggered something in me. And so that's what I did. And the first place we went, it was really narrow and really steep. And I stopped and I looked at it, and he was like telling me, "Oh, don't go up there." And so I went up there. And he was yelling at me that he told me not to, and I said, "Oh, I thought you said to go up there." So we get to the top, and it's like a dead end. And it's like, well, I'll just back down the way we came. And he jumped out of the vehicle because he was too scared to be in it. And that's how it all started with that particular group. And again, we didn't take hardly any photos, mainly because I was busy driving and figuring out which ways to go, and I was leaving it up to them. They may have taken some pictures, I'm not really sure. But anyway, we went to the reservoir because we wanted to go somewhere to just kind of kick back and relax, but the water was too cold to go in. But we did wander around there for a little while, and I took them back out to that abandoned campground because I really liked it out there, and I do have a picture of that I'll share with you. And the picture's got two of my kids in it. And I also have a video that I posted, so I'll try to remember to put a little thing up here somewhere. I think here somewhere, a link to the other video. It's just a video of the river that was at the campground. Sorry, I don't know which direction this camera is facing. So anyway, and let's see, as we were going through different forested areas and stuff, my son and my ex's stepson started wanting to ride on the back of the van, because it had a fairly large size bumper on the back of it, and so they'd stand on it and hold on to the rack, the luggage rack on top of the van. And so they were kind of exploring from outside the van while we had a van full of people. And I'm pretty sure they were having a lot of fun because they kept doing it. And like several trips they kept doing it. At one point though, we hit a bump and their feet knocked the bumper cover off, and so we kind of had to stop so they could put it back on, and then I had them get back in the van. When those trips ended, it was because at one point we'd gone out to this lake that we found, because we were just randomly driving around, and we found this lake that was pretty far from town, and it was really cold out. My daughter had her cat on a leash, and she went walking out on this tree that had fallen in the water and slipped off and fell in and scared everybody. And she managed to get out. My son was there and helped her, and luckily my ex's stepson had some spare clothes with him, And so we took her back behind the van. My mom and I did, and helped her get changed. And then I drove her to the hospital just to make sure that her and my son were okay, because they were both soaking wet and it was freezing cold. But they were fine. And it was a lot of fun, and I wish that I could go back out and do some more, but that van got totaled and destroyed. Long story, but I don't have it anymore. And so I don't have a vehicle at all, which is why you don't have more videos of me wandering around doing things, but I'll get one eventually. Anyway, so yeah, that was, I seen more in those 7 months than I seen probably any other time in my life. And people really need to get out there and explore and see things. And you know, there's a lot of stuff out in the world that people don't even know exists. So go do something, go explore. Anyway, that's it for now. I gotta wrap this up, get it edited and uploaded so I can go to sleep. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and tell me about some places that you've explored and been to, if you've like gone out in the woods and seen some cool things. I know I'm forgetting a lot. That's kind of what sucks about not having photos and stuff, but it is what it is. Eventually I'll get some videos, and then I won't have to explain them to you. I can just show them to you. So anyway, have a nice day, and thank you again. Bye.
Something nice, some rock star ready. I coulda let the VIP waiting, but they all waiting for me. I'm lightweight, famous. Hold up, let me pose real quick. The spotlight's on me. Take a picture. Okay.